So this is the port side engine, starboard side engine, and it's set up exactly like the starboard, except it spins the opposite direction. So its starter is starboard designated, and its water pumps and oil pumps are starboard designated. This is the Scavenging Oil Pumps. It's got two pumps oil pumps on it, and this pump pushes, it draws the oil out of the cooler. No, let me get that right. It draws the oil out of the oil pan and pushes the oil to the lube oil cooler, and then it returns and comes back to this oil pump. It goes to the manifold, the oil manifold, main engine oil manifold, and the piston cooling. This apparatus is the hand control throttle for override when you're starting, and you can use that to actually shut fuel off to the engine if you have to. This is the exhaust manifold. It comes off your exhaust, and it pipes the exhaust overboard. And that's the shaft alley for the starboard side. And this is the starboard side entrance to the main engine room. In World War II, this hatch here was not here. This is the bulkhead 31 that separates main engine from auxiliary engine. And if you were going to go from main engine to auxiliary engine, you had to go up the shaft and then down the shafts to come in here. Similar shafts, 25 foot, all the way to the main deck. This is the fuel transferring manifolds. Utilized, there's I believe there's 8 separate fuel tanks, possibly 10. I'd have to look at the map. So you can transfer fuel from one tank to another, and this is utilized when we're bringing fuel on. This is the primary sea chest for the starboard side, which is where we get our water from the river. This is a sump pump, and ballast system. We have a starboard ballast and a port ballast system. From this bulkhead all the way forward on this level of the ship, which is the bottom compartments, is all ballast tanks. So we can lift the ship left, we can lift the ship right. When we run into shore, they would settle the ship down with ballast, and when they were underway, they would fill up with ballast to give her more stability, because she's a flat bottom ship. These are our 3 generators, and this is just installed in April. You can see the blue lines are our fuel lines coming out of the ship fuel system. We're tapped into the raw water, the seawater. This is the water cooler. So the coolant inside of the engine is sent through this a bath of seawater to keep it cool, to keep the engine at operating temperature. Again, we have air forced into this compartment, fresh air, and each one of these engines sucks air from the air being supplied in the engine compartment, pumps exhaust overboard. This is some more of the ballast system, and this is our indicator telling us whether we're listing starboard or port, and right now we're listing a little port, and we like that because it helps the water run off the deck when it rains. There's the hatch to go up on auxiliary engine room, port side. And that's the starboard side. Port side ballast pump, I believe 1,500 gallons a minute. I'm pretty sure that's 1,500 gallons a minute pump. This goes to the sea chest, primary drawing in your seawater. This system here is a fuel oil diesel purification system. So we hold fuel in one tank, and before we use it, or even while we're underway, we'll have to purify a supply. So we're sending the freshest, cleanest possible fuel into the engines and generators. This is our main fire pump, and it's drawing water off the seawater. It's also utilized in some of our air conditioning systems. This is our primary power transmission, power transfer station. Much of it's still in use today. Each one of these generators is 100 kilowatt capacity. They're putting out 480 volts, 3-phase, approximately 80 amps each phase, each leg. And we're back at the fuel transfer manifolds, and this engine here, this motor, this electric motor, is utilized in transferring fuel from tank to tank. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way as a hand crank system as well. So that pretty well is the main engine room and the auxiliary engine room compartments. These two valves on the floor here is opening seawater, water from the sea chest, raw water from the river into the engine coolers. Have these two on the starboard side. We have the same system on the port side. We'll walk out here past the coolers, which is in the middle of the compartment. It gets very loud down here. This is a primary lubrication motor, electric motor, pushing lubrication oil. 100 gallons of oil in each engine. We usually keep it about 85 gallons. And we're going back up the easier way to get out.